I've decided is really I'm an inventor. I'm here today because AI plays a big role in advertising, but I've invented all kinds of things. I've written several books, I've invented coaching programs and those kinds of things, but when I was 63, and I'm now 72, I took up hunting for the first time in my life. I'd never hunted a day in my life. Went up in the mountains and tried to use binoculars and found I couldn't hold them steady, and so I invented this, which allows you to hold binoculars steady for as long as you want, hands-free.
So I got to say this.
It's kind of, I know where you're going. You're going to say it's Inspector Gadget, right?
No. How many have seen the Goonies? Oh, yeah. It's the camera from the Goonies.
Very cool. At any rate, it's a game changer. I invented it. I've got a couple of patents on it, and I'm using AI to try to promote it, and I will feature some of that. And anyway, that's the story.
Fantastic. Mike, I know Mike real well. We've been friends for a number of years now. We spoke together actually here last year. But there's cybersecurity. I mean, cybersecurity is big right now, correct? Well, you're in the presence of one of the top cybersecurity experts in the country, and I've seen him in action, so I know that this is true. I'm almost done. So anyway, Mike's he's started companies, he's developed programs with Boeing, with the government. I mean, he is the real deal when you talk. Cybersecurity is a hard thing because a lot of times people will be, I'm a cybersecurity expert, but really they're just a computer tech. But cybersecurity is a lot more than a computer tech. It's a whole different avenue, a whole different highway. So don't be, if you are going into cybersecurity, this is the guy you want to talk to, and I'm sure you'll bring up a lot more. But AI, he's done a lot of AI stuff, probably some stuff I can't talk about, but a lot of stuff I can. He's showed me a song that he wrote with AI, and you could put it on the radio. People would be like, oh, that's great.
I hope you get to hear it.
So anyway, so he's an expert in the field. But you don't want to listen to me. Let's turn the time over to Robin, and we'll start from there. And I'll be in the back if you see me waving my arms and stuff. That means we're almost out of time.
That's good. Thank you. Is this working? Can you all hear me through the microphone?
Really, he's the only guy you got to worry about because they can hear.
Do it again. So can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's working.
Oh, it is working? Okay, good.
Hold it maybe a little closer. Yeah.
Like this?
Yes.
Okay, that's better. Okay, so a while back, I was looking at my YouTube channel, and I saw all these statistics, like how many people were coming to my site, and how many people had been there in the last day. And I was drowning in the facts. Now, let me ask you all a question. How many of you use YouTube as a search engine? Okay. But if you use Google, how many use Google for a search engine? Okay. So if you use Google, because Google owns YouTube, you're probably using YouTube. And so a lot of the statistics I was looking at were statistics that were coming from Google searches / YouTube. Now, one of the things that you're not going to see from me today are slides. You're not going to see any slides from me today. I did slides. I did 3 different sets of slides. One in Notebook LM, that is a Google product, one in Gamma, and one in ChatGPT. And I looked at them all and I said, you know what? This is not what I want to talk about today with AI. So I am in an AI mastermind group. I participate in an AI workshop for an hour and a half every week. And I've had over 40 hours of AI training. But now I'm in the world that's a nonprofit world. If you're familiar with nonprofits, what do you think I need to do but raise money, right? So how does AI fit in to raising money? Well, it's about the relationship. It's not about what's on the screen. It's not about the products. So that's the reason I nixed all slides, and I just want to talk to you on the relationship level. Okay, so back to YouTube. So I'm looking at all these statistics and I'm thinking, there has to be a better way. How many of you have a YouTube channel? Okay, we have a few. I would suggest if you don't have a YouTube channel, create a professional looking YouTube channel. And I'll tell you a little bit more about how you can use it in a few minutes. Okay, so the traditional approach, when we talk about doing a search, when we talk about looking at YouTube, we're hunters, right? You want an answer. So where's a restaurant nearby that I might like? So, you know, this cottage cheese is expired. Should I eat it? Right? So we are looking for answers. So we're being hunters. And so let me suggest that, what if we were gardeners? And so we're planting seeds, we're tilling the soil, and so we're being more of a gardener. And that's where AI comes into the picture here. So it's about finding information that's going to supplement what we as a person already know. Because a lot of times what we do is we look at Google or whatever search you use as a vending machine. We put that question in and we're looking to get an answer. But my theory is that's not exactly what we want to do with AI, and YouTube falls into that picture. So here's what I did. There's something within YouTube called Magic Studio, and there's a little, and I'll call it a star. It's a 4-pointed star in the upper right-hand corner when you go into YouTube Studio. And so you can ask it about your YouTube channel. You can ask it anything, and it'll give you an answer about what are people watching? When do they leave my videos? What is it that they like? And what I learned was, I thought it was general things about nonprofits, but it was really specific. It was things like, how do you write an executive director of nonprofits job description? How do you create an event? So it was so specific, and I would have never known that that's what people in my world were looking for. So all of a sudden I went from being a hunter and just hunting for information to a gardener. I was able to go in and pull out these little pieces of information. So see, this is what you're going to do as you go to college, right? You're going to have all of this information out there, and that information needs a piece of it that only you have. And that's what my tech guru, besides these two guys, of course, that's what my tech guru calls you-izing something. It's putting you into what you're doing. So when you look at the patterns that you can find out in AI, that's what helps me develop the relationships. It's not that information, because everybody has the information in their pocket right this minute. So that is not what is going to help you excel. What's going to help you excel is who you are and what's inside of you. So, for instance, if you look at it, and I try to look at it as an intern, like I'm training an intern every single time I ask any AI prompt. And so what you might do is, instead of saying, hey, GPT, write my essay for me, instead asking it, so I've got these 3 competing ideas that are potentials. Can you please argue them for me and tell me why each one of these would be a good decision? So you're not asking it to write it for you, you're asking it to pull from its zillions of pieces of information and to help you refine it. So what that does for me as a fundraiser is I am able to know a person so much better, because I can go into AI and I can specifically say, tell me somebody in this area that would give to a hospital foundation, tell me why, and tell me what their background is. all of a sudden I have this information and now I can go form a relationship with them. And that's how I look at AI. Instead of it being something that gives us all the information, we take what we get and we copy and paste it in and say, done now. Looking at it as a person on our team. Okay, so the next point I'm going to talk about is, so if I can get everybody to raise your right hand and point your index finger towards the ceiling. Okay, good. Now, take that finger and point to yourself. Okay, so I see some of you pointing to your head, which that's where our logic is. And then I see those of you pointing to their heart. So that's what I look at AI as doing. It's making that heart connection and finding how AI can help us get there. Well, one of the ways is with LinkedIn. So how many of you have a LinkedIn profile? Okay, good, good. For those of you that don't, get a LinkedIn profile, because you are in such a unique situation now, because you can go find people who are doing the things that you want to do and ask them, can we communicate? Can we have a phone conversation? You can ask them to actually say, let's have a phone conversation, and you can have GPT or whatever your favorite LLM is. You can have them write that for you. Uize it, so put yourself into that, and say, will you have a conversation with me? I get people that do that every day. I want to start a nonprofit. I need to raise more money at my nonprofit. So be sure that while you're a student, you really use LinkedIn. And so LinkedIn is a part of your team. And one of the things that I have been doing that is so cool with LinkedIn, and maybe you all do this. So if you go into your Google browser and you pull up your LinkedIn, you can click on Ask Gemini. And when you have whoever's comment is up there, whoever's post, you can say to Gemini, hey, I went to the University of Utah for my master's degree. I did this and I did this. Would you help me write a response that I can post on that person's LinkedIn profile? So instead of these ones that I get tons of that are saying to me, oh, do you want to buy my such and such? Because that happens on LinkedIn all the time. You're connecting with them on another level. So it's that relationship piece that AI can help you do. So there's one big warning that I like to talk about. When I work with my nonprofits and I'm coaching them and I'm helping them understand how to use AI to develop those relationships, AI is a very confident liar. And so you have to know that it can convince you of about anything in this world and be so confident in it that you want to believe it. So back to uizing it and being sure you check the facts. And it's interesting how that I use Gemini, I use GPT, I use Claude, and you can ask it the question, you find out that it's hallucinating, and so it's lying to you. You ask them the question again and say, that is not true. Do you know it will come back and say, oh, you are so right, Robin. I knew that wasn't correct. Here's the correct answer. And you know what? It's not right either. So you really have to look at AI as a companion. Do not look at it as a director. It's somebody on your team. Okay, just wrapping up here. You're in this room because you got a scholarship, and you've got so much going for you. And so just know that you're in this unprecedented time of being able to use AI to help you develop those relationships, to map out your future. And so anyway, I will turn the time over to Jim. Are you going next?
Yep.
Jim. And so both Jim and Mike are going to give you some great information here.
Okay, I got this one. I guess I've got this one. All right, just to get a feel for who I've got here, the young people who are the scholarship recipients How many of you use AI right now? Raise your hand. Why do they always interrupt the old guy? You're using it? What do you use it for? Work? Like what work do you do?
Schoolwork.
Oh, schoolwork. So you're using it to kind of look things up, do research for reports, that kind of stuff. That's kind of classic. Anybody else using it for anything else? No? You're using it for the same stuff or not using it? Guess what? You are using it. You're using it every day, and it's being used on you. And that's what I'm going to talk about for the next few minutes and how that will impact the rest of your life. By the way, I said I was 72 years old. That's how many years old I am, but I am a child when it comes to AI. And so are you. We're all children when it comes to AI. This is already revolutionizing the world, and it's going to dramatically impact your life as you go forward from this day. It's already having an impact, and you really have to be careful as you consider your education. So I do it all from the context of advertising, because of what the capabilities are in advertising. Mike's going to talk to you from a high-tech point of view. Robin's already talked to you about relationships and how to use AI to improve those. I'm going to show you what some of the capabilities of it are from an advertising perspective, and then talk about the impact that that's going to have on your life. So I hope you've all read that, AI Transforming How Business is Advertised. Small brands can now look big online, and creative websites, media buying are all things that AI can and will and does do for you. It is the same internet that it was when you were born. I predate the internet, but you guys have grown up with it, right? So it is the same internet, but the resources are
the heck? Does this one work? That is, yeah, that's so weird. I've never seen this before. Yeah, sorry about that. I've never seen that before. That's crazy.
Usually I just drown them out. Can you still hear? You're still good. So I still want to be on the mic.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So small businesses, they've got big goals, but they've got small budgets. It helps tiny teams act big, and new hybrid jobs, creative plus tech plus data. So this particular company that I'm heading is basically a one-man operation. It's me. Okay. My other company that I work with all the jewelers on, it's two of us. And AI is enabling us to magnify ourselves over and over again and do things that wouldn't be possible either from the manpower perspective or the budget perspective in order to make any of this stuff go. Okay, so for example, let's see what advertising can do, right? I asked AI to generate for me a comic that demonstrated that it's hard to hold your binoculars steady when you lift them up to your eyes. Any of you use binoculars, bird watchers or hunters at all? It's hard, isn't it? You can only do it for about 30 seconds to a minute max, right? Okay, so that's what it came up with. The one on the left side to you right there is the one that I came up with, and you can kind of see the shaky thing going on. I said, okay, turn it into a comic strip that demonstrates the whole thing, and that's what it did. Now, I didn't provide input to it. I just said, look at the SteadyMyBinos.com website. That's my website, okay? And from that, come up with the comic strip. And I want no less than 3 and no more than 6 panels in this comic strip. So this is what it came up with. And then I went to a different AI program and said, colorize it. Okay? Now, I took some additional steps that I'm not showing you here. It's, as Robin pointed out, it's not perfect. lots of times they have the, dialogue bubbles next to the cartoon character going to the wrong guy. And for the life of me, and I blame Robin for this, I can't get him to change the direction of that thing, that dialogue bubble is supposed to be pointing to the guy on the left, and it won't change it. That's the Magi stuff. It's just driving me crazy, okay? It will write, it will post, it will give you captions for ad copy, it will recommend images, hashtags, and timing when you should make your posts. Test multiple ad versions automatically, and I'll get into that in a minute. Runs ad campaigns for you, even if you don't ask it to. How many of you have accidentally clicked on an ad on your computer, and then suddenly you're getting ads for that on your phone, on your computer, and on your television? It's all interconnected now, and between algorithms, which is, I don't know, would you call it algorithm AI? It's not exactly.
No, it was invented by Al Gore. Algorithm.
Great clarification. I'm glad I got up this morning. I didn't know that. And that combination of the algorithms plus the AI feeds you, and that's what I said earlier, you're being affected by this, whether you know it or not, right? Wanted to show you what some of the capabilities are other than the cartoons, right? So as you can see on the left there, that's a picture of me. You don't see it as clearly as I do, but that is a picture of me. Can you tell what the next picture is? It is a wolf. Where did that picture come from?
You turned into a wolf.
I turned into a wolf. I basically took the picture and I said to AI, make the man in the picture into a wolf. And that's what it came up with. And you can see the background is the same, right? Okay.
How do you command AI to do things? I don't
It's
even
called a prompt. And you just, you go into the program and you can type it, or I guess you can speak it. I haven't tried to speak it yet.
or you can enter it.
Okay, now we've got a bear, is the next one, right? Where do you think that picture came from?
AI.
Same source picture, the one on the left. So I went and I said to AI, now make the man in the picture a bear. And I'm guessing that you've already figured out that the same thing's done with the cougar on the far right, okay? So now and I said drop out the background. And then replace the background from a scene reminiscent of Mount Nebo in Utah. I don't know how many of you have been to Mount Nebo, but that is somewhat reminiscent. And then I did the same thing with the cougar. Oh, by the way, I went in and flipped it. Once they gave me the image with no background, I then went in and flipped it horizontally and went back to AI and said, put in the background, okay? And the background behind the cougar is mirror lane. Okay. All right. And then you see at the very bottom there, you can't really see it very well, but there's all three of them together looking through the binoculars, hoping that they'll get dinner. But it doesn't end there.
If you want to be an apex predator like me, you gotta spot them before you can stalk them.
Right, Wolf. And nothing helps you spot them like the stabilized hands-free harness system.
So go to steadymybinos.com right now and check it out for yourself.
Kind of fun, huh? Now, if I were to decide I want a realistic looking wolf using my product to talk to an audience, and I wanted to pass it off to a bear and then go back, I would have to do that normally through animation. And this is an animation. It would have cost me months of time and thousands of dollars to do that. Okay? One more.
The stabilized hands-free binocular stabilizing harness helps me find dinner. A juicy elk, perhaps?
Okay? More stuff that it can do. I asked AI to come up with, I actually had 21 things that Stabilize does to improve the use of binoculars, and I asked it to come up with a infographic that I could use online, and the one on the right is what it came up with. But it didn't have my branding to it, and it had that stuff. So I have a graphic design company located in Hong Kong that does all the graphic design for me that I want for a flat fee each month. So for my clients and for myself, I can get anything graphic design for $450 a month. You know I couldn't get an ad made for $450 a month in the old days, but now I get all the graphic design I want. Now, are they using AI? I suspect that they are, right? But I went back to them and said, here's the basics for the infographic. Now you create it with my branding, okay? And they did that. Then I said to AI, I want to create a lead magnet. How many of you know what a lead magnet is? Anybody? Nobody? Yeah, she does. A lead magnet is something you put online and you offer to somebody for free in exchange for their contact information. So I said, I want to create a report, 17 binocular tips every beginning and experienced big game hunter should know. And AI wrote it for me in about 30 seconds. Now, I went in and edited it because, as Robin pointed out, first of all, they can get it wrong, and secondly, you want it to be your own at some level. But I went in and created it. The picture you see on the cover there is me. It's that same picture that I showed you a while ago, and I wanted a younger, better looking, hunter there. Yeah, So I wanted a rugged hunter looking guy, not this old man. So that's what I did with it, right? Let me see if it will show you. No, it didn't. Let's see if I can get it to you. Okay, I'm in trouble. This is a flip book, okay? So most of the images in here are AI, not all of them, and I won't give you the details of which ones are which, but most of those images are created by AI or altered by AI. Okay, Mike, where do we go here? Fix this problem.
Are you topping out?
Well, I'm just trying to get back to the other thing. You do that while I can talk about what's going to come up next. Now that's the creative side, okay? And lots of people are excited about creativity. But I'll tell you what, if AI can do that, if anybody in here interested, for example, in graphic design? Is anybody? Okay. The creative side of things is changing so rapidly that we've got movies being made strictly by AI. Okay? Complete, full-length movies being made by AI. Got it? Okay. All right. Quickly then. This you can't see, but it is a workflow, an automated workflow. And what all that has to do there is you can go into this jeweler's website. You can say, I want to design a ring. You pick out the style of the ring you want. Then you pick out the stone shape you want. Then you pick out the metal that you want. Then you select the size of stone you want. Then you tell them when you need the ring. And they ask you if you want an appointment. And then you fill out a form, right? What happens is you immediately get a text to your phone, and the text shows you this representation in the middle. So the text is on the right, the representation right there is your ring. You get to schedule a consultation if you want. The first of those two texts came in about 5 seconds. The second one came in about 1 minute. And then AI will actually carry on a full response for you. It will also analyze all of your advertising online. And I'm going to skip this part so that Mike gets his chance, but I will say this relative to your careers. For the first time in history, high school graduates are more hireable than college grads.
Okay, so fortunately, I only have 2 things for you guys. This one is kind of hard to see because it's a dark background, but what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you a couple of side by side of people versus AI doing tasks, okay? So what this is, on the left-hand side, we have a person reading, and on the right-hand side, we have AI reading. Whoops. So as you can see, AI can read much faster than people can read. That's going to keep going, but I think the AI reads about 30,000 words in the time that the person can read 80 or something like that. So that would not be our strength. That's AI's strength. Let me show you another one. This is pattern recognition. So like going through a spreadsheet and looking for patterns. Again, the AI is on the left, the person is on the right. The AI can go through much, much more data than a person can. But AI is not always the best for everything. So this is showing you a situation like we're in here, where you're in a classroom and you're looking around, you're interacting with people. People can do that way faster than AI can, right? So two things I'm going to encourage you to do. Number one, play to your strengths. Understand what AI is good at and what you are good at, and spend time in the areas that you're good at. And what you'll find is there's a lot of things that AI can't do. It's changing the world. It can do so many things, but it can't like do the prompt. It can't figure out a business. This is awesome. I got simultaneous yawns over here. Thank you for that, guys. Like if you're talking about technology, you should be able to get a yawn. This is amazing. And simultaneous, no less. Okay, so play to your strengths. But the second thing that I want to point out, I've been in technology for a long time. Before I got into technology, John didn't talk about this, but I was a professional cage fighter. I never worked in an office before. And at some point, I decided that I probably wasn't going to be able to do that for the rest of my life, so I got into computers. And one of the things that I've seen, so this is in the late 90s, and one of the things I've seen in the computer field is some tremendous disruptions. There used to be a time when you were in a workplace and you didn't have computers. For example, I worked in a restaurant when I was a kid, and the waitress would take the order and write it down on a notepad, and then they would put that up in the window for the cook to make. There wasn't computers in businesses when I first got started in the workforce. But in that time, we've had tremendous disruption. First was having computers on every desk, then was connecting those computers together, and then everybody realized, oh, wait a minute, those aren't secure. That was another disruption. But an interesting thing happens with disruption. It crushes some people. I think of it like waves. Waves can drown you, or you can surf them, which is awesome, right? So AI is the biggest disruption in tech that I have ever seen. It is changing so many things about the world. It's creating new possibilities. It's making businesses more efficient to run. It's making all kinds of changes to the world in which we live. Now, when these changes happen, that's really bad for some people. And let me tell you the people it's bad for. It's bad for the people who don't understand it and who don't adapt to it, right? There are some jobs that are just going to be replaced by AI. AI can do it better than a person can do it. And so people in some fields I really worry about. I have a friend that is a graphic artist, and he just lost his job. Because now you can do graphic art with AI. You can do it cheaper, you can do it faster, and in some instances you can do it better, right? But one thing that I'll say about AI is not going to replace your job. Somebody who knows how to use AI to do your job better than you is going to be the replacement. So what do we do with that? Well, if you can look at the disruption and you can see that, okay, this is changing the world, one of the things you can do is you can think about that a little bit. So how is this changing the world, and what does that mean? What kind of jobs are going away? What kind of jobs are going to be created, right? The other thing that you can do is you can say, how can I be part of this? How can I help with this? And these two alluded to some of this earlier, but one of the things you can do is if you want to get a career in AI or cybersecurity or anything really, you can figure out how much money you want to make. So let's say you want to make $100,000 a year. Go look at jobs that are hiring for $100,000 a year and look at what they want you to have, right? They're going to want you to have skills, they're going to want you to have education, they're going to want you to have experience. Well, you can build those skills, education, and experience. And to your point about college, one of the things in computers is in computers, you can check the education box by having certifications. Does anybody know what the difference between a certification and a degree is? So when I was in college, I learned WordPerfect and Quattro Pro. Now, how much are those helping me in the job force today? Probably not a lot, right? But with certifications are current skills. So oftentimes, employers, especially in AI jobs or in cybersecurity jobs or IT jobs, they're going to prefer that somebody have a certification rather than a degree because it says that your skills are current and relevant. So that's something to think about. The world is changing. AI is one of the best tools I've ever seen for learning. You can learn things on AI so fast. I'll give you a quick example of this and then we're going to go to questions. So I read recently that using Claude Code only has 77 commands. 77. I've learned things that had thousands of commands. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to learn that. So I went into Claude and I said, I want you to create an HTML interactive game that teaches me these commands. And it did. And I've been practicing learning the commands. 5 years ago, that would have cost tens of thousands of dollars probably to create something like that. Today, you can put in a prompt and create it. It's amazing. Everybody in here is a programmer, even though you didn't know that. And that opens up a world of possibilities to us. Okay, so speaking of opening it up, let's open it up to questions.
This is how stupid I am when it comes to AI. So how do you even get AI on your phone? I mean, how do you access it?
Well, here's what I would say about AI. Number one, there's two kinds of people using AI, those that are using the free and those that are using the paid. I would not be somebody that's using the free AI. So you pay for it, and then you would go like to the App Store or something and you would just download it. So, and then from there, here's the thing, I run into people all the time and they're like, I'm not good at computers. I'm like, that doesn't matter if you're doing AI, because AI is not computers. AI is so much easier to use than computers. And the better you use it, the more you're going to get out of it. Yes?
So, cybersecurity, AI, they are, I'm assuming, keeping all of that information about you.
Mm-hmm.
How does cybersecurity and AI collection of information go together? Because technically, if somebody were to hack into an AI, company, they pretty much would know everything about someone, right?
So I'm really glad that you asked that question. So in AI, or in cybersecurity, AI is having a big impact on cybersecurity. And whatever industry we're in, we need to ask ourselves, how is AI going to impact my industry? Now, one of the things about AI and cybersecurity is it doesn't eliminate it, just like cameras don't eliminate crime, right? Because the criminals or the hackers still have a vote here in how that works. And so what I've seen in cybersecurity in regards to AI is it's much worse. I'll give you an example. There's a company in England, and they have an office, it's an engineering firm. They have an office in Hong Kong, and their Hong Kong office had somebody call and say, hey, we want to make this wire transfer, and we want to keep it quiet. Well, the person in their payments department said, that sounds suspicious. And the person on the other end, who was their CFO, said, well, let's get the team on a call and see if this is legitimate, kind of thing. Well, the team was all AI generated. This guy's on a call with everybody that is AI generated and transferred, I think it was $30 or $40 million. So this is a big thing. And the scariest thing about all that to me is the company looked at that and came to the conclusion that they didn't do anything wrong. And they did everything wrong. So AI impacts every industry, but it impacts cybersecurity in a big way.
Quick question, Mike. Why, especially for those who are just beginning, why not the free versions?
Because the free versions are for sissies. The free versions are going to limit what you're able to do. And so I run an AI mastermind where I help small business owners learn how to use AI. And one of my things is you can't do this with a free AI. AI is going to open the world to you for $20 a month. That's the best investment you'll ever make.
Cheapest employee you'll ever have.
Can I make a comment on that? And Mike, you can weigh in on this. Do you use Google Chrome as your browser? What do you use as your browser?
Safari.
Safari?
I use Google Chrome.
Okay, so I would suggest going on to Google Chrome, and then there is the Ask Gemini up there on the right. You click on that, and for 2 months, you can get it for $3.99 a month. And then I think it goes up to $6.99 a month for Gemini. And so I don't know if you approve of that, but because it's the paid version, I can get access to all of those. I get great, part of it's Nano Banana, which is the image piece. I get great images. Notebook LM, which is a part of it if you want to create infographics or any of that kind of thing. You get all of that. And so you can try it out and you can play with it for relatively no money at all. And then it'll go up to, I think it's $6.99 a month. I think that is the best deal out there.
Got a question?
How do you determine which AI version, AI model, LLM, whatever, is right for a certain topic or scenario or whatever you're doing? Because there's so many versions, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Claude.
So here's what you do. You start with the task, not with the AI. So you say, what do I need to do in my work? And then you figure out what AI is best at that task. There are a number of sites out there that do studies and show you which, like LM Arena is one, that shows you the best LM for the best AI for a purpose. But you start with your purpose, not the AI.
And so what I do is I don't take just one for an answer. I go in and I find out from one and I say, oh, well, there's some interesting ideas. And so I might start out in Google Gemini. And then I'll take that into ChatGPT Atlas. And Atlas is only available for Macs right now. They say they're going to do it for PC, but they haven't. And so then I put it in there and I fact check it and then say, oh, well, there's something interesting. I'm going to put it into Perplexity, because Perplexity will give me the sources and I can trust it. And then I may even take it again and put it into Claude. And so even though that I might get, okay, so this is the one that handles that best, I still want to verify before I believe it. And some people say, Robin, doesn't this take you like 10 times longer? But AI is so fast. But no, it doesn't take me longer. It just gives me more ideas and more to go on.
And you all know what LM is?
LLM.
Large language model?
Yep.
It's what?
And
Large language model. So
Right.
that's if you're looking for an answer for something as opposed to it being predictive AI, so that it's going to predict what's going to happen, like with my donors. Is it going to predict that they're going to get money?
I think we all use programs that are, I don't know what to call them, amalgamation software or whatever they are. Robin's got Magi, I've got Magi. I use another not a subscription service, but a credit service called fall.ai, FAL.ai, and that gives you a whole bunch of different models, literally hundreds of them for, I think it's $25 a month is what I pay for it, and I can select text to image, image to image, image to video, text to video, all kinds, and that gives me all the models that I can choose from. And to Robin's point, that you can try them out on several different ones. It takes, what used to take days, now it takes 15 minutes to try them on multiple platforms, and you're complaining on how long it takes.
So we're over time, but you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for doing that.